First up, Astro Bot took Game of the Year. Yeah, Astro Bot. It might have been a surprise, but honestly, it makes sense. The team talked about how important it is to create games for kids and families, and you could tell this win meant a lot to them. Alright, hear me out. Astro Bot winning Game of the Year wasn't just about being a great game. It was a statement. The Game Awards this year sent a massive middle finger to publishers who've been churning out broken games, riddled with microtransactions, while their employees bear the brunt of the fallout. If you were paying attention, the show emphasized this repeatedly. Developers losing their jobs, games being forced into crunch, and the aftermath of flops hitting employees the hardest, not the execs. This wasn't just about celebrating the best games, it was about celebrating the best practices. Astro Bot stood out because it was the opposite of all that mess. A polished, accessible game with zero technical issues. No predatory monetization. A team of developers that seemed genuinely cared for. Whether or not you think it was the best game, it sent a message loud and clear. The industry needs more games like this. This is a wake-up call to publishers. If you're going to force broken launches and overload games with microtransactions, don't expect a shiny trophy. The spotlight is now on quality and respect for the games, the players, and the people making them. What do you think? Did Astro Bot deserve it, or is this message getting lost in the noise? Let's hear it.
Over the last 3 years, we've lost more than 34,000 jobs, a staggering amount of games experience eliminated. This has consequences. You can't make great games without great people. I'm proud of so many of you who have already joined me to make an impact, and I really have to thank everyone in our community who gave all their time and commitment to build it. As we gather here tonight for this amazing celebration, I challenge everyone to ask themselves, what more can we each do to make our industry better? I dedicate this to my grandparents in heaven and to our Game Awards watch party back home, my wife, our 3 sons, and my parents, who really devoted their lives to me and taught me that my value lies in how I treat other people. Growing up, all I ever wanted was to be a part of the video game industry. As a kid from Farmington, Connecticut, it felt a world away. Not anymore. Thank you very, very much. Thank you.
One of the most touching parts of the night was when Amir Satvat received the first ever Game Changer Award. He's been helping game devs find jobs during all the industry layoffs this year. His speech about supporting people in the industry hit hard. It was genuinely moving. Sven Vinka, the guy behind Baldur's Gate 3, also gave this heartfelt speech about respecting players and making games with love. It was a nice reminder of why we love this industry in the first place. Melina Jurgens snagged Best Performance for Senua's Saga Hellblade 2. Oh, and get this, Harrison Ford presented the award. Yeah, Indiana Jones himself. The guy even made a joke about Troy Baker playing Indy in The Great Circle. Classic. Black Myth Wukong picked up Best Action Game and Metaphor. ReFantazio cleaned up, winning Best RPG and Best Narrative. The night was full of those, yeah, that tracks moments. But still, it felt unpredictable, you know? Now let's talk about the big moments. CD Projekt Red dropped a Witcher 4 trailer, and guess who's back? Ciri. It was intense. Dark forests, creepy monsters, and some brutal swordplay. People are hyped. From Software wasn't about to let anyone else steal the show. They revealed Elden Ring Nightreign, a multiplayer-focused expansion dropping in 2025. And then, out of nowhere, Hideki Kamiya unveiled an Okami sequel. I mean, who saw that coming? Absolute chills. And Naughty Dog? They showed off a new science fiction intellectual property called Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet. Think big space adventure, crazy visuals, and a soundtrack by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross. It's like Sony said, yeah, we're not holding back. There were so many reveals, man. one. Thick as Thieves, a stealth action multiplayer game from Warren Spector, looks like a lot of fun. Borderlands 4 is officially happening, mech psychos and all. Dying Light. The Beast gave off serious survival horror vibes, and we even got a glimpse of The Outer Worlds 2, which is dropping next year. Oh, and Joseph Fares? He's back with a new co-op game called Split Fiction, where two writers have to navigate their own wild story worlds. Classic Fares energy. Chaotic, creative, and super fun-looking. The Muppets showed up. Statler and Waldorf roasted Jeff Keighley like only they can, cracking jokes about the length of the show. And Snoop Dogg? Yep, he performed. Honestly, it was one of those moments where you're like, only at the Game Awards.
Across the galaxy, the valiant Helldivers have fought to protect our way of life. But I am here with grave tidings. Managed democracy is imperiled like never before. Homes are being ravaged. Families are being abducted. And you could be next. That is, unless you direct your undivided attention to the following announcement. And remember, freedom conquers all.
All right, let's break this down, because Helldivers 2 just got a massive shakeup with the Omens of Tyranny update, and it sounds like things are about to get wild. We're talking new enemies, new toys, and some serious changes to how you play the game. Let's dive in. So, the big headline here is the introduction of the Illuminate, a new faction that's a step up in terms of difficulty. These guys aren't your average bots or bugs. They're basically demigods. The initial wave, called the Illuminate Vanguard Fleet, is hitting the game now, but here's the catch. This isn't the full force. They're using guerrilla tactics for now, not capturing planets outright. And get this, according to game director Mikael Eriksson, their invasion will evolve over the next few months as part of a new, ongoing story. That means the community will play a role in how this invasion unfolds. It's not just a static update, it's dynamic, and you'll get to influence the outcome. How cool is that? Fighting the Illuminate isn't like fighting the automatons or terminids. For one, these battles often take place in urban environments, which feel much more cramped and intense compared to the wide open spaces you're used to. Then there are the enemies themselves. We're talking massive tripod-like harvesters that can one-shot you and hordes of mind-controlled civilians swarming you. Yeah, it's chaos, and it's supposed to be. These guys are tougher, smarter, and they've got shields on their ships and heavy units. Eriksson himself said they're more difficult, which is kind of terrifying if you've ever played Helldivers before. Don't worry though, you're not completely outgunned. The update introduces the game's first vehicle, the Fast Recon Vehicle FRV, which sounds like an absolute blast. Picture this. It's a 4-player squad car where one person drives, 2 lean out to shoot from the passenger seats, and 1 man's a rear turret. The best part? It's perfect for zipping around city roads, giving you a much-needed edge against the Illuminate. Right now, you'll only find the FRV at specific spots on the map, but if the community bands together and completes a new major order, it'll unlock as a stratagem that everyone can call in and buy. That's some top-tier teamwork incentive right there. So, what do you think? Are you ready to face off against demigods, navigate those cramped city streets, and help shape the future of the Illuminate invasion? Or are you just excited to hop into the FRV and wreak havoc? Either way, Helldivers 2 just got a whole lot bigger and way more intense. Alright, so let's talk about the big elephant in the room, GTA 6. Yep, no show at the Game Awards 2024. And honestly, that's kind of wild, but you know what? It actually makes sense. Rockstar probably realized that if they dropped GTA 6 Trailer 2 during the show, it would have stolen the entire spotlight. Like, nobody would even remember who won Game of the Year after that. Now, here's my theory. The trailer is ready, like sitting there on Rockstar's servers, just waiting to break the internet. But instead of sharing the stage with other big announcements, they're thinking, why share the hype when we can own it? So, I wouldn't be surprised if they just casually drop it out of nowhere in the next few days. When? Honestly, your guess is as good as mine. Could be today, tomorrow, next week. Rockstar loves a good surprise, but one thing's for sure, it's coming very soon. So keep your eyes peeled and your notifications on, because when it drops, the world's gonna stop. If you want to be ahead of all the gaming leaks and news, specifically PlayStation news, time for you to subscribe. And as always, a like on the video is very much appreciated.